Hey y'all, welcome back. Welcome back. It is me, Brittreacts, and today we're going to react via a subscriber suggestion. This one is from Bill Maher, rhymes with jar, his Real Time with Bill Maher segment or show on HBO. And this one is called Is America Beyond Repair? Let's talk about it on the other side. I have a few things to say, but let's start with Bill.
Top story. Most voters say U.S. can't repair severe divisions. And they went into the fact that 5 years ago, even during the pandemic and during the George Floyd protests, even then people thought, well, we are going to get through this. And now they seem to be on the page of, it's not going to happen.
You know, Bill,
What do we do? But did you see the story?
Yeah, and I think what's new about this moment, one of my teachers and friends, Dov Seidman, likes to say this: we aren't divided. We are being divided.
That's right.
By companies for profit. Okay, and we have our divisions. We all.
That's a great one. Okay, first of all, I love Vans. That's such a great color. I love when men take risks, especially in their suit choices with the color and the tailoring. I just think it speaks to like who they are. Take the risk, guys. Take the risk. Even if you buy from like a place, you know, that's cheaper or more affordable, you can still go get it tailored and make it look super expensive. Anyway, that's so off topic. This was sent to me under the context of some of what was going on my channel and in my comments after the Charlie Kirk murder. And kind of lended towards why I decided to stop talking and making reactions about what was going on around his death and the case. I am now back to reacting to his debates, which I don't mind doing. But a lot of the comments were scary to me, and they were dark and they were negative. And if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I can never tell someone how to feel. I can never tell anyone what to think, nor do I want to. But a lot of what was very clear to me was that people were just regurgitating things that they were seeing on their timelines, on their feeds, and not realizing how just completely curated our individual feeds are on social media, be it YouTube, be it TikTok, be it Instagram. Your feeds are completely curated to what you click on, what you like, what you dislike, what you comment on, what you watch longer than the other things that you watch. Like all of these things are being fed into the algorithm, and the powers that be it bots or human, then curate your timeline to be specific to what you want to see, not what you need to see, not what is factual, but what they have understood that you want to see. And so this was sent to me in relation to me saying, clear your algorithm. Go and do an algorithm cleanse, or at least pay attention to the things that pop up on your algorithm and where they land on the spectrum of right, wrong, indifferent, or just morally where your algorithm points toward. People really underestimate the power of the algorithm and how it is curated to each individual person. Think about that for a second. Billions of people on the internet, and each of us have our own different internet experience based off of how we move through the internet. With that being said, I agree that we are being divided. We're not just divided, we're not just broken, but we are being pushed apart. We are being torn apart. This gentleman goes even further to say by these big corporations that are going to continue to profit off of us being divided. It's much like the prison system, the private prison system. These people are always going to want people in prison because they make money off of everybody that is in prison. And so it is sad. I think it's interesting to bring up the COVID and the shutdown and the George Floyd thing, because I think at the time I lived in Georgia, I was in Atlanta. I was actually living in the city of Atlanta at the time. And there was this sadness, but also this overwhelming feeling of togetherness that happened, because I think no matter where you leaned politically or what you believed or your religion or non-belief, everyone just felt like this sucks. And this like we were all stuck in this situation as far as the pandemic. And then we were all stuck staring at our TVs, watching this case unfold. And I think there was this air of like, forget everything else, y'all. Like, we're all living the same experience. Can we just all like love one another? And unfortunately, Charlie Kirk's murder has unearthed the same kind of urgency as far as like realization of what's going on in our nation, but it hasn't bred the same togetherness. There is a sense of urgency. Something's wrong, something's off, but we're not all coming together like we all came together in the pandemic. And maybe it's because we're all back to real life and we're not all stuck in the house and reflecting. I don't know, but I think that's a really good point to bring that up in comparison to the same sense of scariness and urgency is happening, but there's not the same sense of unification that is happening. Let me know your thoughts on what I just said. As someone who I think comes on the internet and I'm like overly optimistic and overly hopeful, and it drives some people crazy, but it's really the only thing that can keep me sane is to stay positive. I too am finding it hard to find the light. And it's why I've decided not to continue to react to the negativity specifically around Charlie Kirk, because I just don't want to bring that. I don't want to add to it. There's enough of it on the internet. I don't want to add to the negativity of the people who disagree with me, or the people who agree with me but disagree with the people in my comments. Like, I just don't want to be a breeding ground for that. I'm totally fine for you to disagree with me. I'm happy to have a conversation. I just don't want to be a channel where people feel like they can come and just be awful and hateful to each other in my comments. I don't have space for that. So yeah, I said a lot, but I think it was meaningful, and it is truly how I feel after just listening to the first 25 seconds of this segment of the show.
What do we do? But did you see the story?
Yeah, I think what's new about this moment, one of my teachers and friends, Dov Seidman, likes to say this: we aren't divided. We are being divided.
That's right.
By companies for profit. Okay, and we have our divisions. We always have. But it is now a giant, what is new in my life is it is now a giant industry to make people stupid and angry. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure what happened.
About algorithms.
Right, exactly. And Facebook and all the things that these people do. And we'd be, you know, the way I look at the world right now, we're going through a lot of social change. We're going through a lot of technological change. Mm-hmm. The pot would be boiling. But then along came Mark Zuckerberg and he turned the heat up on the pot. And then along came Trump and he took the lid off the pot. And he made it permissible, popular, and profitable to say and do things to and about each other we never did before.
That's another point. Ooh, the algorithm is meant to make us stupid and angry. And I'm saying us because I'm guilty of that. Falling victim to the algorithm. But you don't have to be a victim. You can wake up and be like, oh, there's, you know what I mean? Like, we just got to wake up. There are some videos I won't even click on anymore because I'm like, I just don't want to hold space for that in my own personal life, in my own mental health. I don't want to hold space for that. This is interesting. Zuckerberg and all of those like censorship things that were happening with Facebook before he decided to then renege and take it all back started the boiling of the pot. And then Trump came along. And I think just who Trump is and his character of being very brutally honest, very divisive in some of the things he can say, very, I just think Trump's approach is an approach that breeds a lot more division than former political leaders. He may not be saying a different thing, but his approach, I think, is something very new. And we've become desensitized to it and we've become used to it now that he's in his second term. I think his first term, some of the things he would say was a lot more like jarring. And I think we all got used to it and maybe brace ourselves for it when we knew he was coming back into office. But I do think also someone commented yesterday or they wanted recently that I was MAGA, and like, I just laugh because no matter what I say, people are going to try to label me and it just is never right. And I keep trying to tell y'all, stop trying to figure out where I land. I don't land with anyone other than Jesus Christ himself. I just thought about that, like LOL. And here I am not saying the most positive things about Trump, but I'm MAGA. Here I am. Like, Anyway, I think, yeah, like I just think we've all become really accustomed to it. And some people like Trump style. Some people think that they'd rather have a president who is a little uncouth and out of pocket as far as his approach than others, because at least they feel like they have someone who's being transparent. I don't know if I agree with that. But I will say that I think I agree that it has taken the lid off, and it's allowed other political leaders and just other people in general, American citizens, to feel like they can show themselves and not hide in how they feel, be it bigotry, be it hate, be it their ideologies, like whatever it is. People feel a lot more comfortable these days expressing those things because we have a leader that will express those things. So yeah, I agree. I agree there. Again, he brought up the algorithm. Your algorithm is absolutely, unless you work really hard. And there are some, like, I don't follow a lot of people on my Instagram, my Brittreacts Instagram. I actually unfollowed everyone at one point just because my feed had just become just a bunch of I didn't even know. And now I'm following a bunch of other creators that are working on this project together. But other than that, like, you can work to really curate your algorithm in a positive way, in a negative way, however you want. But I think the biggest thing I would say is to just be aware of it. Don't think you're not a part of it. Don't think it's not affecting you. Don't think you're bigger or better than it or smarter than it. You have to be super intentional and super thoughtful and super aware that it's happening to even fix it, or at least find some neutral balance where you're hearing everything from everyone and not just the side you agree with or want to see. Because those are the type of things that will make you believe that there's all evil on the right and there's all evil on the left and they don't listen and they breed hate. And it's like, but your side doesn't do any of that. Your side is just so completely innocent. Their hands are clean. And it's just like, that is not a sane reality. That is what your algorithm is showing you. And of course you're going to believe it because it's the only thing you see. You only watch one news cycle. You only follow certain news things on social media. You only follow people who are like-minded like you, your friends and family on Facebook and all these things. It's like you have no view of anyone else's perspective or point. And a lot of people want it that way, but I'm just saying, don't think that that is the real world and not just the bubble you've created in your phone because of the things that you partake in on your phone. That's what will keep you stupid and angry. I really like that he said that.
And profitable to say and do things to and about each other we never did before. And all three of those things need to be addressed.
Family?
The crazy thing for me is when you talk to people, when you ask people to put the phone down for a second, and you actually talk to people, people are not as divided.
Right.
But the thing is, at some point, you on your phone, you ordered a yoga mat or something. Your algorithm figured out you're a liberal. Then your neighbor looked up a truck. You're a conservative.
Or a gun, and now
from
you're
that
conservative,
day
yeah.
forward, you got different information every day.
That's
Nobody
good,
took the
Van.
notice. And so now
That's
you
good, Van.
literally think your neighbor is insane because how could they possibly think this stuff? But if you put your phone next to their phone, you're in different algorithmic universes, and that is brand new and very dangerous.
Y'all, whether you agree with these three men or not, that is the truth. That's so true. Someone researches a gun. Now you're a conservative. Someone researches like a matcha cafe. Now they're liberal. It's like you have no idea the power that is. Like, oh, it's actually really scary. It's actually really scary. I mention this often, that I take social media fast. I actually have deleted all of my personal social media pages because my job is on the internet. And so I can't sometimes handle all of the internet that I have to consume. It's very overwhelming for me. And like, I get very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for when I tell my children, like, I need a minute? I'm overstimulated. I get very overstimulated. Take a break. Walk away from social media. I'm going to challenge everyone that's watching me. If you are under my voice and you can hear my voice, if you're under the spell of my voice, take a 24-hour spell and don't log into any of your social media. Not a bit of it. Log off of YouTube. Log off of Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitch. Don't log on to anything. Give yourself a day. Give your body, your brain, your spirit, your mind a 24-hour cycle to just release and see how like kind of awake you feel. This stuff is meant to keep us here. We're meant to just do this all day, all day. It doesn't want us here. And like Van said, I think we have way more in common than we do, even if we disagree. We all still live the American experience. We have things in common. But if you stay here, you'll never see them. Connect. Find somebody to connect to. Find somebody to cling to. I say this all the time also, like for me, my anchor is my faith. It's God. And I understand that's not for everybody, but anchor to something, anchor to goodness. Find something good. Find something that makes you feel good. Find a place that makes you feel good, a book, something. Just stop relying on the internet to tell you everything and to keep you entertained. There's so much more that we did before the internet, and it's still out there. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to step off my soapbox. This was a great suggestion. I really enjoyed it. I don't do too many of these like politically charged or political view videos anymore, just because, like I said, I want to be a happy place in my little corner of the internet, and I want to laugh together, maybe some happy tears. But I don't want to be a place where people feel comfortable to come and be negative, ugly, and hateful. So if you don't have anything nice to say, you can't say it kindly, keep it cute and put it on mute, meaning don't drop it in my comments, all right? Let me know your thoughts on all of this, and I hope you have the day that you deserve.